All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert video. So today I wanted to talk about one of the new quality of life features that they added with the recent patch, at least here on the NA and EU servers. So as we all know, now when you hire workers for your nodes, you can actually just hire from basically any town within one town. So that actually is a huge thing, because back in the day, what you would have to do was actually go to the worker manager in any specific town that had them, and you would have to basically bring all your characters to that specific spot if you wanted to use all your energy on it. But now it actually tells you how many workers you can have per town with the number over here. That's actually a nice feature, because before you kind of just had to randomly guess, and then if you had the lodging and everything, you would have to, calculate that and stuff. But nowadays, all you have to do is just pick a zone or pick an area and hire workers. So what I wanted to do is show you some of the workers and nodes that I have around the map. I've done a video of this before, but I guess now this is more an updated one. But also make this in a shorter video to tell you what I think are the important nodes per region. So we have a more in-depth video if you want to watch that. It's a couple months old, but it's for the most part still relevant. But I just wanted to share, because a lot of people just set their workers and they kind of forget it. And the new thing they added was, with your workers, you can now do multiple promotions at a time. And before, it was one every 24-ish hours or something like that, or was it 12? Either way, you can only do one at a time, and now you can do multiple. So for all of you out there who have professionals, time to start upgrading them to artisans. And then, you just click the promote button. This tells you the chance. And, of course, it's RNG. Test takes 8 hours. Just push the button, hope for the best, and you can do it with multiple ones. So do I have other ones? Professional at 31. I do believe the level actually matters. So I think if you do it at max, the number is a little bit different. And yeah. So in terms of which one is better, goblin, human, and giant. So my understanding of this is goblins, they get to the node faster and bring back the materials faster to your storage, but it's a little bit less, but it's faster. Humans are a balance of, time and the amount they bring back, and giants are slower, but they bring back more. So I think, I don't know, it's changed over time. I personally think that goblins are probably overall better, but I've seen people say that giants are the best. So I don't know. I guess it depends on how much food and workers stuff you have, chicken meat or whatever. And I have about 1 million, so I guess it doesn't affect me. And also, one other thing with workers, if you look at their, where can I look at their change skills? So if you look at it, they also added something with newer ones, I believe. So at level 1, you could put them on any node and into town, and then have them bring the materials to a certain one. So I think that's actually a very nice thing, and maybe I'll be able to show you that. Let me see. Those are the ones that are working, and these. So if you don't have a completely new one, so at level 1, I believe they have a new option, so they can actually do it for different ones. So I'm gonna have to reset my entire node thing eventually. It's gonna take time. But I wanted to show you guys the important things that I think are valuable and worth getting. And I'm just going to do a quick speed run of all of these. So, Velia, Balanos region. I think the important ones in here are chicken meat, eggs, and the timbers are in general are very nice. But the unique ones are probably chicken meat and eggs. It allows you to make grilled bird meat, which allows you to feed your workers and stuff. So yeah, just keep cooking all of this, get more chicken meat. You get a lot of contribution by byproducts. Timbers are always valuable, and if you know what you're doing with it, you could turn it into, products and sell it. Otherwise, if you're just crafting it to like tier 2 materials and then selling it, it's whatever, it's still decent silver. So yeah, going down into Heidel, Serendia area. The unique ones I would probably recommend getting are like wheat, that also makes a lot of stuff, and then also timbers down here. The unique ones are Trace of Nature, always a very valuable one for alchemy, and the cooking honey. This isn't as valuable as it used to be. However, there are only so many nodes that give cooking honey, so even if you don't think you need it now, I think it's still good to get it on a node, and worst comes to worst, you just sell it. But aside from that, if you just look at the regions, you know how there's a lot of trees in here. Timbers are important. Ores are also important. I know most people say that they have like millions of iron ore. Trust me, I could use all of that in a quick amount of time if you know what you're processing and what to make for it. So ore is always good. Timber is always good. Down going into the Calpheon area, I think the important ones are coal. Coal and iron ore makes steel. Steel is generally used a lot. And of course, more trees, a lot of timbers, and of course, ores if you can over here. So just look at the price of various timbers in every town. So like I have a lot of wheat going, you can use that. And then various timbers, find the ones that are worth more, and then either process and sell it, or, you know, just process to level up. So my processing is Guru 41. It doesn't really matter past like Guru 1, but it's one of those things you just do AFK. Back in the day, we used to have fish nodes on Port Euphoria, just because you used to be able to have to make like pet food. What is a good feed? And then you had to do that. But nowadays you can just buy it off the market. And yeah, this is like years of fish that I just kind of stocked up over time. The CP over here is 1, so it's not that bad. But I guess you don't really need it anymore. Down into Trent and Bear area, I have a lot of these things connected. I personally think that Trent is one of those things where it's not like super beginner friendly because you're going to have to go out of the way for it. But if you get the nodes here, it's because you need something, whether you do cooking a lot, alchemy, or just a lot of processing. So the important things I have here are cedar sap. That is one thing that I'm just really lazy to get myself. We also have cedar timber that's worth a decent amount, and then fir timber if you process that down. So yeah, I think I have this connected down for the rough green crystals. That one's unique and I need it. Fir timber is worth a lot. And going down into here, we have cedar sap. That one's worth a lot. And all the way down here, I don't think I realistically need it. I just have been too lazy to change my nodes. But pine sap is one of those things where I'm just too lazy to gather it myself. Down into Kama Sylvia and Grana area, what I have connected is really just down here for Trace of Nature. Those are always a decently valued one, or if you do any alchemy, you probably burn through a lot of that. So that's why I have it. Is it really worth it? Not really, but I mean, I'm once again just collecting it over time. Down in the Odalita area, down in Odraxia, what do I have connected? Thornwood, timber, and sap is something that is really unique. If you get it, it's because you need it. But the important ones I would recommend going for are, once again, the fruit nodes. And I think there was one that was, yeah, chicken meat and eggs, always a high value node. I personally have the one for mithril over here. I swear this node is kind of busted and it's not as good as some other ones. So like I don't have a lot of mithril over here, but if you're looking for that, we'll talk about that in a second to get the better ones. But it's just like if you need it, it adds to it. Thornwood sap and Thornwood timber over here, always a high value node. And then Crypt of Resting Thoughts for Trace of Nature. And I also leveled up this node simply because I was grinding here back in the day for Debo belts, and yeah, it's not bad. So Kalk Canyon, I have this connected to Duvinkroon, and for Mithril and Zinc, these are very high value nodes. And yeah, I think I have Mithril over here, almost 10,000 of them, pretty high value node. If you put workers on here, just know that you're using it because you need it. It's not worth selling, but zinc ore is the same way. More mithril over here. You just have like triple or double mithril nodes over here, and then one down here. I'm convinced this Olin's mithril one isn't the greatest, to be honest, but it is what it is. Let's see. Why do I have this connected? Oh, probably for this Dorman lumber camp for Thuja sap. And that's one of those things where I wouldn't recommend getting it unless you know you need it for something. Otherwise, if you don't even do life skills, not worth it. But that's the important part in Duvinkroon, where you get a lot of mithril. Down in Ilton, which is the... what is it called? Mountain of Eternal Winter. The ones that I think are important are these three. Jade Starlight Forest, if you are going for your Labresca helmet, first and foremost, you level up this node. But also because Rough Jade is worth a lot, and so Snowfield Cedar Sap is also worth a lot. So things over here, worth a lot. Rough Jade, if you know what you're doing with it. And of course, Snowfield Cedar Sap is very expensive. So you kind of want to have that node going. And then over here is more Trace of Nature and Cooking Honey. One of the few nodes where you can get that as well. And more timbers. Okay, so down here in Tariff and Altanova, down in the Madaya area, take this line from the Madaya shore and Rogue Den. Anything to the right of this one is probably connected to Altanova, whereas anything to the left of this, like this entire area, is probably connected all the way to Tariff. So the important things I would recommend for all of you to get is probably the ones up here, which is both the white cedar timber and sap, and then maple timber and sap. Those saps and timbers are very expensive, and if you know what you're doing with it. So yeah, I have a lot of this one. I probably have to process it down eventually, and it's just one of those things where you get it because you need it. Everything else over here, I think zinc ore is also a valuable node. Trace of Nature. What is this one? I could probably take that one off, but I also have Stonetail Horse Ranch connected simply because I have the house over here. If I ever wanted to make the Krogdalo gear, you can make that over here. And I was actually making one. I was working on the third set, so I have two full sets of one to win and one to see, and I'm working on the Earth one now on my own time. It's not like important. And down here, connected to Altanova, the ones that I think are important are Abandoned Iron Mine, which is iron ore, rough black crystal, and zinc ore, and platinum ore. These are very high value nodes. Down here, in zinc ore is there. Iron ore is always used. And platinum is just expensive. If you know what you're doing with it, you can make a lot of profit off of it. And connected here, we have one, which is... I have this one because I'm just kind of lazy and to make purified water. I think if I'm going to do alchemy, I'm just going to make high value items and not just purified water. So I have a thing connected over here. And do I have this connected to Altanova, or do I have it connected to Tariff? Let me see. Oh yeah, I have it connected to Tariff for some reason. I should probably swap that. But either way, yeah, I mean... I don't think this is really particularly worth the CP, but it's something that I'm just too lazy to do myself. And of course, down here we have a lot of the Elder Tree timbers, which I have almost 2 million of. So if I ever wanted to push myself to like Guru 50 and beyond of processing, this is how I'm going to do it with all of this stuff. But once again, it's whenever I feel like it. Next, connected to Sandgrain Bazaar, we have these two nodes. Iron ore is pretty nice, and I don't even know why. Maybe in the future, if they come up with something like cactus sap, it'll be good, but until then, I literally don't think I've ever used that. Over here, we have the Shikatu farmland. I used to have this. Let me actually just get rid of that. We have 2 points left. Okay, cool. +2. Down here in Arihaza, I have this line connected. This is something where I think that you shouldn't invest in it unless you know what you're doing. And even then, ever since they made Monos accessories Cronstoneable, they really tanked the value of it. So I personally used to make my own Monos accessories back in the day when they were actually worth a lot. And so you had to use a lot of these materials to self-craft it. And yeah, not anymore. I mean, they're still moderately worth getting. Like, they're pretty decently valued nodes. I just think it's not a high priority. And also, I had this node connected simply because I was grinding for the archaeologist map. And yeah, this place, it feels so bad doing it, but it's something I have to do. Next, we have, I guess, stuff down here connected in Ulakita, but there's nothing here. It's only if you have it connected, you're doing it for the grind spot. And here in the Land of the Morning Light, if you look at all this, let's take this line or this node icon right here, and you just make a straight line from the village all the way here. Everything over on the left side is Land of the Morning Light 2, and on the right side is Land of the Morning Light 1. Basically, every node in this area is one contribution point, and you just get the ones that you think are worth a lot. So a lot of these kind of give you crystals if you want to make it yourself. And all of these are, you know, just saps and timbers. So if you were to look at all this, we have a lot of timbers going on here and just a lot of other alchemy materials. And if you want to look over here, saps and timbers, always high value things. But also some nodes that I think are worth investing into for grind spots is Honglim Base. It is still a pretty good one. I'll make another video in the near future trying out the spot with the changes, but I think Honglim Base is a very decent spot, so it's worth investing into the node and then putting it on like the Pine Sap. Plus, you know, if you're grinding here, you might as well invest in it. And Dokubi Forest, this spot is, it's not as good as you think it is, simply because this is what, like a 310 AP spot, and you barely make, like, you bill in a half an hour, not even, and that's with RNG. So I think it's not a bad spot for silver, but it's for a 310 spot you could be doing a lot better. So it's not the worst, but it's not great either. And I don't think I have anything connected to Morning Light 2. So yeah, that's a quick preview. I do have another video where I talk about a lot more in detail for all of this, but I think I just wanted to give you guys the notable nodes that I have connected in here. So with that said, make sure to actually fix your workers and, you know, maybe hire more and just add some more stuff that you may not already have. You can just hire, and the UI looks different. So for example, if this was what you want to do, this is how it works. What I would do if I were you is you would do view continuously, and then you could keep auto cycling until it goes to a certain tier you want. What you want is professional and up. Artisans actually do take a lot of energy, and it's also like very low rate. I don't know if they have shared that publicly, but generally go professional and up, and then once it goes to like level, I don't know, 15 or something, you can probably promote it and then hope for the best. But if you only want artisans, they've also been giving away those boxes. There's like, what is it? Get a artisan worker or something. But either way, just go professional and then upgrade it in the future. It's most likely going to save you a lot of energy. So with that said, I know this video kind of was a little bit longer, but I wanted to share a PSA of worker change and some of the nodes that I personally have. So with that said, thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.